Next on is the board chair's report. I know we're short on time here, so I'll keep it brief. As many of you guys know, there's kind of a hint of spring out there. Just a hint. Now and again, it got warm and a lot of pastures started getting a little bit of grass here and there. At least we're seeing that in central Utah, but it's right around the corner. And it seems like before spring gets here, there's a lot of preparation that happens. You see it in rural parts of the state, working farms, and I really look forward to this spring. I like to garden, and in order to have a good garden, it takes quite a bit of prep, and you got to get on it early. And in fact, I like my garden so well that I put it in my front yard to make sure that I take care of it, not neglect it. I don't know if it's a vanity thing or what it is, and but it seems like there's always these seasons for preparation. We just concluded this legislative session, and there's a lot of work and supporting the board's work, a lot of late night work. I just want to recognize staff and all of that work. There's sometimes it was 10 o'clock or so at night with staff, and as I witnessed it as part of it a little bit here and there, and working with legislators and trying to put those betterments in place as amendments, and that went through. So thank you for all that extra effort. It's not a 9-to-5 job. And while all this is going on, payments and everything that happens here at USBE, the work still was happening. And our work, we still took care of business best we could through our legislative session. It was extra work, but our work isn't done at all. It's almost like a reset. It's Groundhog Day. We just finish it. I made a mistake a couple of years ago, and it's a confession, and I appreciate the superintendent bringing it to my attention. We had a pretty heavy lift and a lot of good stuff working for public education with the legislature, and it's like the last night, and most of our bills and stuff have gone through, and we knew some of those risky ones weren't going to make it by midnight, and we were in one of the rooms having some pizza, if I remember right. And the dumb part of me, in that moment, I said, well, to the staff and that, I said, this is really awesome, but why don't we talk about the things we could have done better? That did not go over very well. Some of you guys were there. I know what you're talking about. It's like, let's enjoy this moment. It's a pause. We're tired. We're catching our breath. And I screwed up, and of course I apologized on that, but I just how my brain works. These plates are always spinning, like next steps, and let's not forget our experiences so we can get ready for the next session. I'm not proposing we're doing that today. I promise. And we didn't do it the last day of the session. But I am proposing it will be in April in our work portion study session that we're going to recap a little bit of our board's experience, our board process of how and what lessons learned. Not so much get into the weeds of the bills and numbers, but what can we do better and more efficiently moving forward in our processes. Because as was previously talked about, is we'll be busy implementing rules, and we've got a tremendous workload ahead of us just on the 100-something bills that end up, it seems like, that come through public education every session. So April, just an open mind, be thinking about your experience that goes clear back to August. And how can we have a better experience coming this next August? So I don't want to take wind out of your sail. I'm grateful and everything's good, but this is our board and it's our board's work, and it starts in August, and how can we do it better? And let's get ready for August, because we're going to do this all over again. We'll be doing the budgeting process, and we'll look at calendars, and time seems to be our our enemy in here, and we'll look back at lessons learned on our legislative ask to see if we were asking for too much, or where should we focus our energy? How do we get our wins? And what are our priorities? So moving forward, as we're preparing, the better prepared we are, the better we'll execute the will of the board. So keep that in mind as you have inspiration, as you're laying there in bed at night, or before you get up in the morning and the plates are spinning. I've got an idea. Let's jot it down, or something that you really liked, or something that you didn't like, and we're going to have a discussion on it. We won't take action on it, but it will help us get us all grounded on the power of we, and as a governing board of next steps and how we can do it better this next round. So thank you for your work. Thank you, staff, for your work through this legislative session. And I don't think I'm out of bounds bringing this up too soon in here, and take from the euphoria of a lot of good stuff that's happened through this session. So that concludes my remarks. And again, thank you for what you've done and all your extra efforts.
Point of order.
Yes.
I don't know if this is a point of order, but I would like to add a comment, because we have heard a lot of thanks from our chair, but I will tell you, there's nobody at the Capitol more than Mark Huntsman. And if you think his truck is the first truck in the USBE parking lot on the board meeting days, when most of us are still asleep in our beds, he is driving up to Fillmore to the Capitol, and often his red truck is the first one in the parking lot, and he's the first body in the chair. And I can't let this day go without thanking him for his constant hours and work. And I think he is on I-15 more than any person that I know. And we thank you, Chair. Thank you.
Well, thank you. You guys can make my eyes water again. Thank you.